So guys, at 2.4 billion users in the market, Generation Z is fast becoming a dominant player in the marketing space. And this is ages 18 to 24. So if you don't have a strategy for your company, for your brand in how to reach and connect with Gen Z, you need to hear this podcast. And so we're going to help you today to kind of dial into what's going on with Gen Z. Some of you may be a part of Gen Z, and hopefully you're saying like, amen.
True.
But we're going to help you understand how to connect with this generation for your business. And so this is from a Facebook article that was recently released that has some insights from their platform into what engagement has looked like on Instagram and Facebook. So that is coming up.
Welcome to the Bite Size Marketing Hack Podcast, where you get the confidence to hack your marketing 5 minutes at a time.
Hey, what's up, guys? My name is Rashawn.
And I'm Mark.
And today we're going to dive into Gen Z. Whether or not you may be a millennial, you may be a baby boomer. Regardless, you want to know more about Gen Z. So we're about to dive in and share with you a little bit more about, Gen Zs and who they are.
Yep.
Yeah. So
I think this is so interesting because there really is this reality that, there's like this generation clash. Everybody gets to talk about like this generation versus that generation and these fights. I don't think we need to go into all that kind of stuff, but I think it is helpful to understand that definitely generationally we see things differently.
True.
And so it's really helpful to just start from this place of understanding that Gen Z is going to have their unique experience of life, and it's valid, and we want to understand how it is that they interact with the world and what they bring to the table.
So true.
Yeah, so this is a really helpful article from Facebook that helps us begin to dial into that. And so I'm just going to read a little bit here. It says, as the more than 2.4 billion members of Gen Z mature, their unique value system is set to redefine marketing. And this statement here I think is really interesting. I'm not sure if I quite fully agree or not. I'm not quite sure, but I think it's interesting. It says this: many of them have inherited the wisdom of boomers, the independence of Gen X, and the confidence of millennials. While developing their own me is we worldview. So let's just pause right there. I think that's interesting.
Me is we. Wow,
yeah,
that's very interesting.
I think there's this kind of stereotype around millennials that it's all kind of like self-centered or like on me. And I'm not sure if that's like entirely a full perspective, but I think what they're trying to highlight here is with the Zoomers, with the Gen Z, they are much more focused on how can we do this together, which I think that's a huge strength. Definitely.
That definitely makes sense. Like, it's like a sense of empowerment. You come together, you uniting. That's why there's so many communities being built, like from Gen Zs in so many different levels, from digitally to locally and coffee shops. Like, community's huge.
That's good.
In the Gen Z space. So
that's so good. So let's see. So Gen Zers see themselves as part of something greater. By accepting and uplifting others, they see themselves rising too. So it's like we're all in this together. We're all in this together.
UNITY, unity.
So it's kind of like we're all in this together kind of mentality. So I think that's just helpful to begin to understand. So this goes on and talks about they're already estimated to influence 143 billion in spending in the U.S. alone. So man, if you're a business, if it hasn't even been on your radar, Gen Z, it makes a lot of sense because they are becoming major players in the marketing space. So let's look at some of their attributes here. One of the things from this article talks about advancing inclusivity. So they see diversity as an asset, Gen Z. And one of the things that's interesting to me, though, I can't remember where this is in the article, but they really are focused on not just diversity that looks diverse, where it's like this like token idea of making it all look right, but actual authentic diversity.
I love that.
And I think that's only just going to increase, is that people, that authenticity theme has really been increasing in the last 15, 20 years. And I think with the rise of social media,
So
and people
true.
are just less and less, they can just see through it. And they're
Yeah, they
less and
can
less
see
okay
yes, yeah.
with like it looking right without it actually.
Superficial.
Yeah.
Face value without enough value behind the face. Like it has to
Right.
be real over right in this generation.
Yes.
Or you're gonna get ate up by
Yeah.
this generation.
It's like they can immediately sense if this company, if this person is genuinely
Yeah.
pursuing this value idea,
True.
or if they're just putting it out there to try to enhance their overall profile.
Wow. That's so good. That's so good.
Yeah, so I think what that brings it back to, and it's a hard kind of takeaway, but it says if we want to connect with Gen Z, it requires us to do some work to make sure that we are being authentic so that
True.
we can connect even more with a generation that's helping to advance this idea of authenticity.
Love it.
So-
I would love for us in the future to do a podcast on
Yeah.
authenticity. I think that
Yes.
would be really good to talk about what does it actually look like practically to be authentic in our
Great
generation.
idea. That's a great idea. So, so here it talks about some other brands. Let's see. Okay, yeah, so channeling curiosity. So Gen Z faces an onslaught of information, of course.
Yeah.
Some people have called this generation the generation of the digital natives, those who are just immersed in the digital world so much that it's like they don't know anything else.
Yeah.
I mean, for Rashawn and I, we were born in a time where at least part of our life we can remember.
Oh yeah,
No
not having
digital.
no cell phone,
Yes.
no computer, none of that. Then AOL pops up.
AOL, man,
Oh,
that makes
yeah.
us old now.
Yeah.
But I remember getting my first cell phone. I was probably late to the game, and I got it in college, and it was like one of those little box phones, and you Gen Zers watching, you don't even know what I'm talking about.
T-Mobile
but-
Sidekick.
Yeah, one of those
was
little
it
things, yeah.
nice? That's awesome.
And then there was the Razor.
Oh,
It was,
the
like,
Ra-
super
I had that
cool,
one,
right?
a blue one. It was
Yes.
pretty. Yeah.
Oh man. But Gen Z, they don't even know what we're
They
talking
were
about.
Pampers. No,
right?
just like, I don't
right. And it's like you grew up with the iPod, you grew up with the iPhone being
Yeah.
just normal part of life.
know. Wow, that's crazy.
And so I think it's helpful for us to understand as we're connecting with Gen Z and marketing them effectively that this is just reality for them. They have no other
yeah.
reference
Wow.
for reality, and they are inundated with information constantly. And so they're trying to figure out, how do I get the right information?
Yeah,
And so I
so
think
true.
what I take away from that is we've got to be adding value.
Yeah.
Because-
Around the clock.
Yes.
Yeah.
Gen Z, they're going to be just really smart with brands, and they're going to stick with those that are going to actually add value to them.
Yeah.
And actually be helping them to do what they want to do in an authentic way. Otherwise, they're going to be like, I'm going to move on and
Yeah.
find somebody else.
So true, so true. And that goes even into the workplace.
Uh-huh.
Like I've seen a lot of older Gen Zs and millennials sort of drift away from the workplace because they felt like they didn't have a genuine connection with their boss or with their coworkers, and they just had this
Yes.
independent mindset, just like, hey, if I can't get it here, I'm gonna go out elsewhere to where I can get in a space that feels real for me. And that's
good.
just what happens, man, in this
good.
generation. That's where we are, man. And
Yes.
too much information, not enough, driving
good.
inspiration and pouring into others. So yeah.
That's really good. I think we've got to just be at that place where we're connecting and we're being real.
Yeah.
So
Wow.
I think this one more stat we'll share with you on this episode today that I think is really helpful for you as a brand. So we've shared some insights into Gen Z. So now let's share some takeaways for your brand, your company. And I think this is helpful because it tells me that as a brand for Gen Z, they actually want to connect with you.
Wow.
And this shows a percentage of Gen Zers who would be open to brands posting in their online groups, Facebook groups or a Instagram chat
Yeah.
group or whatever other platform where there's groups.
Online.
Yeah. Within the auto industry, this is interesting because I don't know if I'd be really excited about hearing from the auto industry, but 91% of Gen Z says, "Hey, I'd love to hear from a brand in the auto industry."
Cool. Man,
That's interesting.
That's interesting. Very interesting. Maybe they're just now getting their cars and they're all wrapped up in
Right,
a car. So I
right.
don't know.
83% in banking, and 80% of food. And so, you know what this tells me is I think more than ever, Gen Zers want to have just a real authentic connection with the brand that they're working with.
True.
They kind of expect and assume they can private message a brand and they're going to get a response back.
Really?
And so if you're not as a company positioned to where you can be responsive pretty quick,
and not just automated, not just automatically,
Yes.
automatically, but
you may just lose those Gen Zers because they want to interact with the brands that they're using.
True.
So it should be interactive.
Yeah, love that, Mark. Ooh, this is valuable.
Any other thoughts on the Z's today?
I just love the mindset from me to we type mindset, and I want to look deeper into that.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll dive into another
Yes.
part 2 later about that.
Yes.
So.
Yeah, because really we are all in this together.
Yep.
So.
Amen.
All right. Well, we hope that's helpful for you and your brand, and especially if you're out there and you're a Zoomer, you're Gen Z. Man, we're thankful for you. We're thankful for your perspective and what you bring to the table, and any way we can serve you. So that's it for today, and we'll see you next time.
See you next week.
Thanks for joining us. Be sure to rate, review, and subscribe, and visit us at bitesizemarketinghacks.com for more resources and episodes that will help you hack your marketing 5 minutes at a time.